Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hello. Thank you for watching my videos. It's Mike. It's January 7th, 2009. A roundup of some of the more interesting stories that I've stumbled across in the last day or so. The first one was a rather comical one, and we'll start this presentation with a bit of lighter news. Linked on the side, taxing cow farts. Only on YouTube could you have a title of a video like that. What is this in reference to? An article in The Guardian from the beginning of December of 2008. Plan for tax on cow gas stinks, US farmers say. The Environment Protection Agency would like to charge farmers for the rising levels of methane and other polluting gases emitted by their farm animals. Of course, this is only going to affect small farmers. I'm sure large farming companies will have ways around this. I'm sure their lawyers will get involved, and somehow this tax bill will be reduced. So it's only going to affect small farmers. Not good news. But it is taxing this gas. In my predictions for the year 2009, one of my predictions was that MI5 and other security services around the world would be announcing that they are making huge inroads in the fight on terror. This morning, Jonathan Evans said the international recession could be a watershed moment which will shift the power away from the West. He went on further to say MI5 had scored significant successes against Al-Qaeda in Britain in the last 2 years, which was forcing terrorists to keep their heads down. Yeah. More news. In North America, aluminum maker Alcoa announces 15,000 job losses and cuts in output. Of course, here in the UK and in most of the rest of the world, we call it aluminium. Aluminium. There's an I at the end. This is one of those odd, quirky words that's spelt entirely differently than the American spelling of aluminum. It took me forever to understand that this was aluminium. No, it's aluminum. It's aluminium. Tomato. Tomato. What's the matter with you? More bad news. Marks and Spencer's to cut 1,230 jobs in the UK and close 27 stores. Now this sounds really bad. Marks and Spencer's, one of the most famous name brands from the UK high street, known worldwide. Your M&S, Marks and Spencer's, purveyors of fine underwear worldwide, is closing some stores. Now the thing is, people should be aware the stores that they're closing is an offshoot branch they started a couple of years ago called Simply Food, and it's primarily the Marks & Spencer's food brand they're selling. And if anyone's ever walked into a Marks & Spencer Simply Food and looked at the price of a packaged sandwich, they would understand why nobody's going into these shops. They're bleeding expensive. So what a surprise. They're cutting their high-cost food outlets. So those are 25 of the stores being closed. 2 of the stores are smaller Marks & Spencer's. No big deal. Further news. Now, of course, the Marks & Spencer's thing is actually quite deceptive. The headlines in the various papers, I'll include Times. Marks & Spencer's to shut 27 stores and cut 1,230 jobs. The Telegraph's headline, Marks & Spencer's to cut jobs, close stores as Christmas sales fall. I believe the Times is being slightly more sensational by saying 27 stores are going to close. Further news of interest. LG adds a direct internet link to a line of HDTVs. Published January 5th, 2009, The New York Times. Those who want to bring the world of web video to their television screens usually need a separate box. Now no more. LG are announcing on their latest high-definition televisions, you can connectly direct it to the internet via broadband. What's next, he wonders. Keyboard and mouse, maybe voice control, and finally, a built-in webcam that can be remotely switched on. Reminds me suddenly of view screens from 1984. Be careful, people. You may get exactly what you ask for. Finally, I mentioned yesterday in my video that freaked out people. He's losing his mind! He's losing his mind! No, I'm not. I was just tired. Get over it. I love the HDTV, by the way. I'm going to go in real close. Now, I'm currently shooting this in standard definition. but I'm going to let people see the color of my eyes. Because on the HDTV you can see just how blue my eyes were. I have hazel eyes, and they change color based upon my emotional state. When my eyes are very blue, I am being very passionate. When they go green, I'm being mischievous, evidently. According to my ex-wife. I don't know. Actually, my ex-ex. I won't go there. Anyway. That was a long conversation I had with her yesterday about being an ex or an XX. She's an XX. She's not an ex, she's an XX. Don't worry. Right. Russia. Gas. Russia. Putin came out and said, we're going to cut the gas 20%. Well, people are actually saying in Ukraine, hang on a second. You have 4 pipelines running through Ukraine. 3 of them have no gas in them. I'd say that's more of a 70 to 75% cut in the gas flowing through the Ukraine. This morning, Ukraine announced, and Gazprom also announced, it would cut off all supplies to Europe traveling through Ukrainian pipelines. Amid evidence that people in Eastern Europe are being deprived of heating as the Arctic cold snap continues, Russia and Ukraine continue to blame each other for the deadlock. Gazprom accused Ukraine of shutting down the 4th and last open pipeline. While officials at Naftogaz, Ukraine's state energy firm, simply said, words fail us. Indeed they do. I believe Russia is rattling a few cages right now. And there's a great gnashing of teeth over in Brussels at the European Union headquarters. Expect more soon. Someone made a comment on another comment on a video somewhere that I watched. I don't remember where. I replied that don't be surprised about the fact that cops will arrest you for taking pictures places. This has been going on in the UK for ages. I remember many stories in a photography magazine that I get about people being arrested because they were taking pictures of children inadvertently. They were taking pictures of, their own children in a park or something, and they managed to catch other children in the back. The police were arresting them because it's illegal to take pictures of children. It isn't illegal to take pictures of children. Especially in a public place. This is perfectly acceptable. I wish police would get this through their head. Anyway, connected here. Photographers criminalised as police abuse anti-terror laws. Here's a story of a London-based artist, Reuben Powell. He's an unlikely terrorist, a white, middle-aged, middle-class artist who has been photographing and drawing life around the capital's Elephant and Castle for 25 years. Elephant and Castle is a major junction in London. I actually was accused of driving in a bus lane there a couple of years back because my registration plate was cloned and was stuck on somebody else's car. Managed to fight that by proving, hey look, there's no mobile phone antenna on the back of this car. Look at my car. Hello? Anyway, the car skidded to a halt like something out of Starsky and Hutch, and this officer jumped out very dramatically and said, "What are you doing?" I told him I was photographing the building, and he said he was going to search me under the Anti-Terrorism Act. His release only came after the intervention of the local MP, Simon Hughes, but not before he was handcuffed and his genetic material stored permanently on the DNA database. So be careful when you pull out your video camera in a public place. The police may confuse you for a terrorist. A couple of final stories real quick. The Star, this is the Toronto Star in Canada. I read the Star occasionally. No comment on this other than there's reason for hope in the economy, so says an analyst. Yeah, you can hope all you like. FT today, Mr. Darling, our charming and ever effervescent treasurer, or Chancellor of the Exchequer, my apologies, repeatedly used the word difficult to describe the outlook. Britain was far from through the recession, in a clear signal that he will have to abandon the government's forecast that the recovery would start in the second half of the year. Okay, someone finally figured it out down and down his streak. It's going to take slightly more than 6 months to sort out the mess you made. Okay, Cheers, everyone. Peace, love, understanding. Figure out what's important. See ya. Bye.